Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos when he led the management of NTA Channel 5, Abuja. Mariam George Jitubo reports that the management team also condoled with the station over the demise of staff late Salimota Idowu Suleiman.
Driving into the station, the first port of call was the General Manager's office, where the Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, reassured that the visit is to create a forum to interact with the management and staff with a view to finding lasting solution to some problems bedeviling the station. He enjoins the staff to work as a team to take NTA to greater heights.
Gone are the days when individuals or human beings are treated like machines. For me, who has been in the struggle for the rights of the staff, I know it quite well that your problem is a problem for everybody.
The management team also took turns to commend the station and highlight ways of improving on its production. The General Manager, NTA Channel 5, Abuja, Paul Ati, says the Director General's visit has given the station a sense of belonging.
You are highly honored, sir. And you have taken it upon yourself to say, okay, the death that occurred here is your problem. You took it up, you went there, you stood by us, you have done more than enough.
The staff were also given opportunity to interact and seek ways of enhancing production for better service delivery. The management team, led by the DG, also took a tour around facilities in NTA Channel 5, Abuja. Mariam George Jitubo, NTA News.
Corps members have been charged to keep the flag up as worthy ambassadors of National Youth Service Corps. FCT NYSC coordinator gave the advice during the Batch C Stream 2 closing ceremony at the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp, Kubwa, Abuja. Rosemary Motaleng Bila reports.
After 3 weeks of rigorous training at the camp, corps members are being discharged to their various places of primary assignment. NYSC FCT coordinator Suleiman Abdul urges them to sustain discipline, which they imbibe during their stay in camp in their host communities.
My dear compatriots, as you begin the next phase of the service, I urge you to sustain the spirit of patriotism, hard work, and resilience which you imbibed during the orientation course. It is my ardent hope that you will strive to meet the expectations of Nigerians by contributing towards the progress and development of our dear country.
They noted that the commitment of this set of corps members is highly commendable, stating that cases of indiscipline reduced to the barest minimum throughout their stay in camp.
I encourage you to build on the skills acquired by availing yourselves of opportunities for post-camp training, as this will go a long way in empowering you for self-reliance.
Corps members were also urged to stay away from drugs and other social vices. Rosemary Motaleng Bilal, NTA News.
Meanwhile, National Youth Service Corps members deployed to Nasarawa State have been tasked on taking advantage of the skills acquisition entrepreneurship programs learned for self-reliance after the service year. Acting Director General NYSC Christy Oba gave the charge in a message delivered during the closing ceremony of 2022 Batch C Stream 2 Orientation Camp, Kefi, Nasarawa State. Christy Ayawa reports.
Having undergone 3 weeks rigorous training on skills acquisition and entrepreneurship development, leadership training, paramilitary drills, and other physical and mental activities, the youth corps members appeared to be fully prepared for the tasks of nation building.
Here we're trained not just survival skills, we are trained on security, we are trained on how to care for ourselves, we are trained on how to relate with other people, members of the community. So I'm going out there very optimistic, energetic, full of life, and ready to nurse my patients as expected anywhere that I'm posted.
This will give me the right opportunity to be able to serve my country the right way.
Coordinator NYSC Abdullahi Jikamshi, who doubled as representative of the acting Director General, Christy Uba, as well as the Nasarawa State Governor, Abdullahi Sile, encouraged them to focus on ways of impacting positively on their host communities.
I urge employers to mentor these young Nigerians properly to enable them to develop their potential.
Over 1,039 youth corps members have successfully completed the 3 weeks orientation exercise at the Magaji Danya Musa NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp Kefi. In Kefi local government area, Christy Ayago Agaji, NTA News.
National President, Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Ayuba Waba, has condoled with the family of late Salimota Idowu Suleiman, the NTA staff killed in a train accident in Abuja. Ayuba Waba led the delegation, which included Ratau President Hawa Gimba, has the details.
National President, Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Ayuba Waba, while sympathizing with the family, described the death of late Salimota Idowu Suleiman as painful to the family, Rotawu, NUJ, and the Nigerian Television Authority. He promises to ensure all relevant authorities involved to see to the building of a bridge or provide alternative routes for the people living in Chikakore community. He calls on the community to be patient while urgent action is being taken.
I think that is why we're here, not only to pay the condolence, but also to set the record straight, that government officials must take full responsibility.
President, Radio, Television, Theatre Arts Workers Union of Nigeria, Ratau, Dr. Kabiru Garbasani, says the union has lost a respected accountant who will be greatly missed.
Because it's our responsibility to take care of such, instances. We will definitely look at it and we'll get back to the family.
The delegation also visited the scene of the incident. Hawa Gimba, NTA News.
Marching words with action, the FCT Ministerial Task Team on City Sanitation has stormed Guzabe district of Abuja and pulled down alleged contravening structures in the area. Onoze Yakubu reports.
The operation codename End of the Year Demolition by the FCT administration is to sanitize the nation's capital through rigorous enforcement on illegal structures. The Highborough Guzape 1 and 2 were the host to the bulldozers of the Development Control Department. The job is simple: to rid the city of all contravening structures. Cases of buying land from the natives against the laid down rules of constituted authorities was again brought to the fore.
We see the markings on what we mark for removal, and we've come in out to remove, and we are still removing here. So we have marked, we are out there. When we mark, we turn to remove. They thought that the locals will come and tell us when to remove and when not to remove. No.
Some of the affected victims narrate their ordeal.
The person that sold the area, sold the land for me, is the one that carried paper, go to EMEA, they sign it for me.
Okay, the EMEA now signed the paper for you?
Yes, but I was not there. They signed the paper before they come and give me the paper.
In ya biya kuma ya yi gini daga ba sai mu zo muna jin wai wurin ba permanent land bane. Shi yasa muka zo har da sarkin kabilu din gaba daya muka zo gidan sarki.
The tax team, however, maintains that the city environmental surgery will be sustained despite the festive period. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Young girls and women the world over have been encouraged to speak up against rape, physical abuse and other forms of gender-based violence. Chief Project Coordinator of the Association of Wives of the Federal Capital Territory Traditional Rulers, Hanatu Usman Nga, gave the charge during a sensitization visit to Model Girls Secondary School, Amak, Aku, Abuja. Francisca Bile reports.
2018 National Demographic Health Survey shows that 33% of women aged 15 to 49 in Nigeria have experienced physical or sexual violence. Gender-based violence remains one of the most persistent human rights abuse in the world. It consists of forced and early marriages, physical, mental, or sexual assault of women and girls. In view of this, the Chief Project Coordinator of the Association of Wives of FCT Traditional Rulers, Hannatu Usman Nga, visited Model Girls Junior Secondary School for a sensitization program to mark this year's 16 days of activism with a view to encouraging young girls to report any form of gender-based violence to their parents and other relevant authorities.
You can see they are very little girls, so they just have to know what is happening in society today.
The principal of the junior secondary school, Haji Yatitilayo Yahaya, says, as part of the school curriculum, every Wednesday all students are assembled for counseling on gender-based matters. Meanwhile, a JSS 3 student, Diamond Goodness, who was awarded for her excellent presentation on sexual abuse, says her joy knows no bound.
We have the disciplinary committee. We have clubs in the school that talk about gender.
Assistant Director News, NTA News 24, Lydia Odije Ochi, who was a guest speaker, advised women the world over to not allow anyone abuse them psychologically with words, but rather believe in themselves. In Abuja, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
The internally displaced persons camp in Wassa has received another health boost with the supply of medication donated by Chris Ibokwe Foundation. Hadiza Godwin Ebune has more.
With a van full of medical supply, the Chris Ibokwe Foundation arrived the internally displaced persons camp in Wassa to make donations. Founder of the foundation, Chris Ibokwe, says for Nigeria to sustain its democracy, education has a major role to play. This, he says, is one of the reasons the foundation is sponsoring 20 internally displaced persons from secondary to tertiary level of education.
They requested for two things: generator sets, which I told them they should go with me, and I handed over the generator set for them, and I promised them that they should get me the list of the drugs which they need. So which they brought, and we went to bring the drug today, and we handed over the drug over to them.
It's going to be continuous because what we are doing already in our foundation is touching lives, basically. So we are not doing it a one-time thing.
Chairman of the Wassa Internally Displaced Persons Camp says the medical supply will go a long way as they are in their need of a healthy environment.
Just recently, last week, he came here and a line complained that we don't have a drug, and immediately he provided one generator to us in the IDP camp, and then today he bring a drugs to our facility. So honestly, we appreciate his effort. May God bless this foundation.
The Chris Ibokwe Foundation promises to train more than 40 women in its skill acquisition programs come 2023. Hadiza Godwin Ebune, NTA News.
A book to reawaken the consciousness and patriotic commitment of Nigerians has been presented to the public. Asabe Williams reports that the body of work written by Major General John Moore is titled Nigeria, a Nation Yearning for Moral Recognition and Unity.
Book Nigeria, a Nation Yearning for Moral Recognition and Unity is coming ahead of the 2023 general elections, a decisive time for who will lead the nation. The author, Major General John Moore, retired, says the inspiration arose from what he terms increased trend in moral decadence in the country.
And I feel, why should we disintegrate? And the reason they're giving are false historical, false history. What they're giving is not true.
Unveiling the book, chairman of the occasion and representative of the Chief of Defense Staff reiterates that there's need for all to work towards a united nation for the benefit of all.
The unveiled contains a lot about the history of Nigeria.
We have the infiltration of certain foreigners. You have what you call the Arabian traders who come into Nigeria through the Trans-Sahara route, the Futa Toro, the Futa Jalon. And just like we have the Western traders too, okay, the British, the Portuguese who came into Nigeria, too, each of them came in with their own trade, with their culture and religion. So this book actually helps to understand.
The 219-page book extols the virtues inherent in nation building with an appeal for Nigerians to join hands in the quest for a greater nation. In Abuja, Asabe Williams, NTA News.
The Nigerian International Poetry Convention of the various artists exhibiting their talent has been held in Abuja. Aisha Abdullahi reports that participants say they are inspired by the surroundings, feelings, and mindsets.
Times poetry is written by the hands of fallen angels, whose feathered wings drip ink and blue.
Poetry is one amongst the genres of literature, with poems, spoken words, music, and other vocal performances as components. Conveyor of the Nigerian International Poetry Convention, Jonathan Oluwatosin says the event, which is the first edition, is aimed at bringing different artists under one umbrella.
Okay, so I've always wanted to gather creatives. I've always wanted to gather poets, talk about the arts, the entertainment. Just always wanted to gather persons and to really bring up the creative space in Nigeria. The creative space is mostly dominated by film making and music, so I want just to push the poetry and art itself.
Performers at the event say they find solace penning down their thoughts as they believe it is a talent not all are chosen.
It's born out of passion. I love to do it. I love to use my poetry to pass messages. I love to do it as a form of motivation for myself and a lot of everybody. Yeah.
I feel majority of persons not being able to kind of express their emotions or whatsoever they really want to do, kind of find solace in the pen and paper. So writing down your thoughts and experiences.
Poetry can be written, spoken, or performed as it is based on interplay of words, rhythm, stanzas of verse to convey a message in a peculiar form. Aisha Abdullahi, NTA News.
And on the sports scene, Team White won the trophy in the male and female categories as the 6th edition of the in-house volleyball tournament 2022 ended in Abuja. Francisca Bile says the competition was organized in honor of the president of the Nigerian Volleyball Federation, Musa Minro.
The competition, which was organized by Life Camp Volleyball Club in Abuja, saw Team Yellow defeating the rivals 18-25 in the first set, while Team White came from behind to secure a win of 25-14, 25-22 and 25-17 in the second, third and fourth sets. In the male category, Team Blue secured a win of 25-22 against Team White in the first set, while Team White later dethroned the rivals after playing 25-22 in the second set and 15-14 in the third set of the round of 15.
It's not easy being a winner, wearing that gold medal and carrying that big cup.
Initially, it seems as if we were not going to win because we were so down with so many players.
Life Camp Volleyball Club is the only privately sponsored club.
Representative of the Nigerian Volleyball Federation, Emmanuel Jato, says the NVF President Musa Nimrod is in full support of the Life Camp Volleyball Club and other grassroots volleyball club in Nigeria.
He has always encouraged every member to bring everything they had to the table.
This is a grassroots sports activity where talents are developed and talents are discovered.
Every facet of our sports, we are losing. And we are losing because we have not paid attention to the potentials at the grassroots level.
In Abuja, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
Is next. Stay with us.
Wizo kwa wewe na iwo abeda zaza ishandaje zuma oniye wagobagnai non atasa tuntunjin am chowon ko a jinwobo wo ba wo agmadan wo ta mi wa jin apma nu atun jin yan chowo nu owo atun jin ba Mariam George Tubo wa ganga gabie ajejeruko atun jin bayan nu eyikinye Salihu Abdul Hamid Dambos woni dade nsayin we be nkabi nu peje ngun atun ajejeruko atun jin ba naye wenga wo bebe okonige baye ba se ase na bai ashi abawe mbane yijelo mbwe nu atun jin ba mbe munge ajin baba baye kukara baye ku ababa jin nu abaye ntukotu nu ba atun bo nu abejin sanyi nu abejin ayiwoge Salimunata Idowu Sulemani Shoko wo masawe naku Gambie gbedogun agomnati atun jinbayan Ayuba Waba we lalo nu ababaji nu Salimunata Idowu Suleman Pua nu oyakinya be du obwa we nu anpe afunyan hawa jimba kwa ngege wona tabanyi mai kakaran azad na mai agbedogun aje babanyi nu ababaji baye bayin gaga afie kwen jin afi sansan nu won jin azanu nu abaji wosan boye won gaga wola ko kupe nu agbe waye aza adnagman ban ba mi ba pe agbedo nu atika kore ba mi ba dia osanu oya lakara tiche zain obo jinjin ko du dadai gbedogun nu minister be fi na bai kwa shi abawe nanu okinzina nu ababajin sepain gbedogun ekwen ba ngage ye abmanyita san gbedun okwen hin bonyin oneze Yakubu kwa ngage gbedogun ekwen ba kulo guzape mba mato api bayan bayan la apua baya boye no ba mejila balo to ba vi gbetu api meya nanu okinzina bayan ngage ba shin de no na bage aje ekinzina shi nda aweshi inu ikun sepa ba yin aza atnubwa nge atejin akinsi nu azan asinu agwam natunu abo babo wolelainu saisu
Jama'a masu kallo da sauraron mu assalamu alaikum ga labaran yau a takaice mai karantawa Yusuf Yakubu. Shugaban gidan talabijin na ƙasa NTA Salihu Abdulhamid Dambos ya kawo ziyara nan gidan talabijin na NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Shugaban ya bayyana kula da ma'aikata da cewa abu ne mai muhimmanci, inda ya ce in har ma'aikaci bai samu kulawar da za ta ba shi ƙwarin gwiwar aiki ba, kayan aiki ba za su yi aikin ba kadai, babu abin da ma zai yiwu. Wakilar Maryam George Tubo ta kawo mana rahoto cewa a yayin ziyarar tawagar da ya jagoranta zuwa ziyarar a nan NTA Channel 5 ta'aziyya yayi ta'aziyyar rasuwar ma'aikaciyar da ta rasu Salimatu Idowu Suleman. A yayin da ake ci gaba da karbar ta'aziyyar margayya Salimatu Idowu Suleman da ta rasu a hatsarin jirgin kasa a makon da ya gabata, wakilin Hawa Gimba ta rawaito mana cewa shugaban kungiyar Kodago ta kasa Comrade Ayuba Waba yayi wa iyalanta ta'aziyyar Allah ya ji kanta ya sa can tafinam. Ayuba Waba ya jagoranci tawagar jami'an kungiyar da wasu kungiyoyi zuwa gidan margayyar domin yi musu gaisuwa rasuwarta. Bayan da ta sha alwashin rushe lahirin gine-ginen da ba a yi su a kan ƙa'ida ba, wanda suka sabawa tasawirar da aka zana birnin Abuja, wakilinmu Shaibu Onuze Yakubu ya labarta mana cewa kwamitin ministan Abuja mai aikin tabbatar da tsabtace muhallin Abuja ya shiga guzafe ya kuma rushe wasu gine-gine wanda take zargi ba a yi su a kan ƙa'ida ba. To duka-duka ƙarshen labaran namu ne kenan, sai kuma gobe idan Allah ya kai mu.
ndị awa gị onye ọma na-ekiri anyị nụrụ akụkọ ụwa na nkenke ọ bụ Okwu Francis bụ na-ewetara ya bụ akụkọ. Ọ bụrụ na enweghị nkwado ndị ọrụ enweghị ike iji akụrụngwa ọbụla were rụọ ọrụ. Mariam George Jitubo bụ onye wetara anya bụ akụkọ kwuru na nke a bụ okwu onye isi ụlọọrụ NTA bụ Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos n'oge ọ bịara mgbaru n'ụlọọrụ ha. O kwuru na ndị isi a kudokwara ụlọọrụ NTA Channel 5 maka ọnwụ onye ọrụ ha bụ Salimatu Idowu Suleiman. Onye isi otu jikọtara ndị ọrụ n'ala anyị gba gburugburu bụ Comrade Ayuba Waba edurugo ndị isi dị iche iche wee bịa mgbaru n'ụlọ ọrụ NTA Channel 5 maka ọnwụ Salimatu Suleiman nke nwụrụ anwụ na nso nso a. Hawagimba kwuru na ndị otu a bụ Ayuba Waba duru ha bịa ya bụ mgbaru nke gụnyekwara onye isi Ratau bụ Dr. Kabiru Garba Sani. Iji okwu onye isi ha rụọ ọrụ, ndị ọrụ gbalụ kuriri ụlọ ọrụ ewuru na-emegidere iwu n'ala anyị ọkachasị n'isi obodo bụ Abuja na Gusape district. Ọnọze Yakubu wetara ya bụ akụkọ ma kwuo na nke a bụ iji debe gburugburu Abuja ọcha. Ndewo aka ọha anyị n'ọnụ ka ọ dị n'echi.
Kalẹ̀ wẹ̀sìkú dédé wòyí ìròyìn iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì Karùn-ún ti ilẹ̀ Àbújá ló ń dé sí etí gbọ̀nyìn láti ẹnu Bọ́lájí Mátì. Bí àtìlẹ́yìn àti ìmọ̀ràn bá sí fún àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àwọn ohun èlò bí ó tilẹ̀ hùn kó pọ̀ tó iṣẹ́ kan ò ní ṣe. Èyí jẹ́ lára ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀gá àgbà iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán NTA Salihu Hamid Dembos bí ó ti ṣíwájú ìrìn àjò mọ̀mí-mọ̀ sí àwọn alákòóso iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì Karùn-ún ti Àbújá. Alákòójọpọ̀ ìròyìn mìíràn Jitubo ròyìn wípé ọ̀gá Salihu pinnu àtìlẹ́yìn fún àgbéga òṣìṣẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ ìkànnì Karùn-ún bí ó ti ń kẹ́dùn pẹ̀lú iléeṣẹ́ yìí fún ti olóògbé Salimatu Idowu Suleiman. Ọ̀gá Dembos gbàdúrà wípé kí Ọlọ́run pa àṣìṣe rẹ̀ rẹ́ kó tẹ̀ sí afẹ́fẹ́ rere. Ààrẹ àjọ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè olùkù Ayuba Waba ti kẹ́dùn pẹ̀lú ẹbí Salimatu Idowu Suleiman tó kàgbákò ikú òjijì ní ìlú Àbújá. Alákòójọpọ̀ ìròyìn Àwágímbà ròyìn wípé olùkù Ayuba ló ṣíwájú àwọn tó rìnrìn àjò náà. Ààrẹ Ratau Dókítà Kabiru Garba Sani sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ lórí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ọ̀hún. Àjọ tó ń gbè fọba l'Àbújá lórí ètò àti fọ ìlú Àbújá mọ́ ti ṣiṣẹ́ dé agbègbè Gusape. Alákòójọpọ̀ ìròyìn Ọ̀nàsì Yakubu ròyìn wípé katakata àjọ náà wó gbogbo ilé tí wọ́n kọ́ láìtẹ̀lé ìlànà òfin ní agbègbè náà. Aṣíwájú ètò Kàríwàtà mẹ́nuba ríra ilẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ onílẹ̀ dípò ìjọba èyí tó lòdì sí òfin tí ìjọba gbé kalẹ̀. Ó rọ gbogbogbò wípé kí wọ́n máa tẹ̀lé òfin ìjọba kí dùn púpọ̀ ṣíun ní ọbẹ̀ ògì títí ìwòye ọ̀la Ojúmọ́ Ire ni yóò mọ́ wa.